Hey there, welcome to day 25 of our time together going through Hey You. If this is your first time, welcome. You don't have to have watched any of the other ones in order to be a part of today. I'm glad you're here. If you are back, welcome back. I'm glad you're here too. So today we are going to be talking about unconditional love, and I'm actually just going to read this one straight out of the book. So stick with me and then leave me your comments, because this one can get a little controversial. It can get hard, especially when you're talking about boundaries and how you love other people and if you love other people. It can get sticky. So I want to hear what your thoughts are about this day in this chapter. Okay. So the title of this one is called It's Unconditional. It says, "Hey you, make up your mind that God will take care of you. Don't be afraid of losing or giving too much. That doesn't matter. Give all you can. Your love, time, finances, even when you're by yourself, let it be a planning time to give. To God, to those around you, to those you will get to touch. Don't be afraid to give. God will take care of you. This year, don't treat people or interact for what they can do for you. Treat people and interact with them for what you can do for them. Don't ask them for payment in the way they treat or think of you. Decide you will give and pour out anyway. Be kind, like your mom." It goes on to say, "My mom is one of the most giving people I know. I watched her walk through difficult times and navigate relationships that weren't always good back to her. But she still always gave what she could when she could. Was it always in the midst of the healthiest dynamics? No. And this is the part that gets controversial. When we measure what we give away, we end up diminishing ourselves rather than what we're giving to another person. No relationship is safe once it becomes transactional. If you're going to say you love someone, love them. With Facebook friends and Instagram followers, I know that friendship isn't as meaningful as it used to be. But Jesus described great love as one that would cause someone to lay down their life for their friend. For the people that you currently call friend, do they fit the description of that? Would you lay your life down for them? And not necessarily a physical death, but even in laying down your right to you do this because I did that relationship. Unconditional love is not fair. It requires that we give without expecting a return. But it also necessitates a look on the back end at who we are making the promise to and if we can commit to keeping it for them. I'm not saying to be a doormat or to waste yourself for someone who couldn't care less about you. I am asking you to measure your gift based on who you are and what commitment you say you have in love or friendship, not on keeping record of what the other person is doing or has done. Whenever we get into a state of measuring, we've diminished the relationship and placed conditions on something that should be unconditional. When we operate out of self-preservation, anytime we give something away, we're at tension with the part of us that wants to save ourselves. Can love be simple? Can love just be a commitment to laying down the measuring and transactional tools and saying, it doesn't matter what I get back, this is what I will do? I'm sorry. I know this part isn't comfortable, and I personally have measuring tools I have to put down every day. But this is also another reminder that you don't have to commit this level of yourself to everyone. Also a reminder that God will take care of you. Again, don't expend yourself recklessly. Be a good steward of who you are, and maybe allow an introduction or 3 into your community of people that will throw you so far on the other end and seek to outgive you that you won't remember the deficits. And the scripture for this day is John 15:13. It says, "There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends." So again, this could get controversial, but I did want to make it clear that this is not about being a doormat. This is saying that oftentimes we get so caught in measuring in our relationships, and when we're measuring, that is placing conditions on our love. And it's when we say we love someone, it's more a commitment about what we will do for that person than about what they will do for us. And I'm just thinking of Romans 5:8, when it says that God commended his love toward us. He put it on us in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. And that was something that God decided to do. He decided to love us, even though he has no guarantee that we will choose him back. And I think when we say that we will love someone, that unconditional love is an agape love. And it's God's kind of love. It's not phileo, it's not eros, it's not anything that can come on conditions or be brought about by like emotion or feeling. It's a love that chooses to love no matter what we get back in turn. And I have some really great people in my life, but the agape love aspect is still so hard because it's saying no matter what they do, if I say I love you, then that's my choice to love you, and it's not dependent on anything you give me in return. And that's why I said at the ending, that if you don't have people where that's reciprocated, again, love is your choice. If you don't want to call them friend or say that you love them, there's no pressure. You don't have to. But just know that when you say you love them, there is there's a true requirement to give without an expectation of what you will get in return. Of course, there's like a hope and our love opens the door for people to do certain things for us, but we can't force it. We can just love them, and that's not dependent on their response to us. And if you don't have that in a mutual relationship where you've made that choice to love someone and someone is not loving you back, or you don't have relationships that have chosen to love you that way in return, and you need to widen your circle a little bit, like widen your lens and invite other people in to be able to do that for you. Because sometimes we expect to harvest love in the same field that we planted it in, and that's not always going to be the case. Sometimes we sow love in someone's life and we reap it somewhere else. So it can get tough. That's why I want to hear what you have to say about it in the comments. It can get tricky. And again, I'm not saying to be a doormat. I'm just saying to know that when you say you love someone, that requirement is on you. It's not on them. So again, don't say you love it. You don't have to say you love them. You don't have to call them friend. But if you do, require more of yourself than you do of the other person. And on the Hey You Bible Study, session 3 is all about this. So if you need a little bit more help walking through that, the link to the Hey You Bible Study is down below, and you can have access to all 5 sessions, but session 3 is the one specifically about this subject, in measuring and expectations and loving someone without condition. So that's it for today. It's a fun one. Wasn't easy. Still checks me a little bit, but we're moving right along. Tomorrow, I'll see you back here for day 26. We're going to talk about our mirror neurons. So I'll see you then.